Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide videos. Today we're covering Slowbro, both Galarian Slowbro and Cantonian Slowbro, and I've got 5 sets for you, 2 generic for each and then 1 Dynamax for Galarian Slowbro. So let's jump straight in. The first set I have here today is probably one of the typical sets you'll run on Galarian Slowbro. We've got leftovers on here, we've got Quick Draw as the ability, so 20% of the time you will go first. It essentially works first in your priority bracket, assuming if they use priority moves like Sucker Punch, for example, you're going to go second. But the Quick Draw works really effectively there. We've got Slack Off as a move to allow us to heal up because 80% of the time you're probably not going to go first unless you're in a Trick Room. You've got Shell Sidearm, which is a really cool move. It's base 90 power, poison, so good against fairy types, and also it will do physical or special depending on how much damage it would do. So for example, if you're versing a Chansey or a Chansey, you would probably do the physical attack damage rather than the special attack damage because that would do much more. So it's a really good move, really handy to kind of break that offense or the defense that people may have. We've then got Flamethrower, which is a good variety move. It hits different Pokemon, including things like Steel types and Grass types, for example. We've got Psychic as well, which is powerful, Psychic type attack, obviously boosted by Stab, so it is a lot more powerful than it would usually be. EV-wise, I went for max HP and max special attack with the quiet nature, so more special attack and less speed, and 4 EVs in attack. Now I thought those EVs in attack might just make that slight bit of difference with the amount of damage output you'll give, so rather than putting in either of the defenses, I think in this case it works in the attack. The second Galarian Slowbro I have is a Belly Drum version. So obviously Belly Drum maxes out your attack, goes to +6 4 times. That takes you to about 1,312, I think, on your attack. So absolutely huge. If you can get this off in a Trick Room as well, you are set basically to potentially sweep. I've got the Citrus Berry on here as well because when you go down to 50% health, you get 25% back. Now, ability-wise, I went for Own Tempo just because you're immune to the Intimidate, because there are Intimidate Pokemon out there. You could always go for Regenerator as well, so you could potentially get another Belly Drum off later on the match if you need to. Or you could even go for Quick Draw, but if you're doing this in a Trick Room, which I would definitely recommend, I would recommend go for Own Tempo just in case of Intimidate, so things like Incineroar, Arcanine, there's loads of Intimidate users that could come in and potentially thwart your attempts. We also have Drain Punch on this set to allow you to hit a variety of different Pokemon, including things like Steel types, which you couldn't hit with your stabs, and also heal yourself up a little bit because you're obviously taking 50% of your health for your Belly Drum. We've got Earthquake, which can again hit a variety of Pokemon, including a few of those Intimidate users, so 3 that come to mind are Luxray, Incineroar, and Arcanine. I can't think of many more Intimidate users. You've got Gyarados, but you could probably hit that with Poison Jab. So yeah, you then got Poison Jab, which is a strong stab, poison type move. You could always go for Shell Sidearm. I just wanted to show off a different move here. Now EV's gone for max HP and max attack with a Brave Nature, so more attack, less speed. Obviously you want to be as slow as possible if you're going to use that Trick Room. And then 4 EVs in Special Defense. I definitely am interested in running this set. I haven't actually run it, but it does look very interesting and very fun to run. The first set we have for Cantonian Slowbro. Now this is a typical set that I have run so many times. It does have Toxic on it, so you would have to transfer this from a previous generation. Or you have to transfer it anyways, I believe. But the Toxic would have to be taught before it's transferred, so make sure you do that beforehand. We've then got Slack Off to heal yourself up, gives you 50% of your health back, which if you want to put that on the Galarian Slowbro with, I can't think what it's called. Belly Drum. If you want to do that with Belly Drum, you can, but that obviously takes away one of your move slots, so you do need to be careful. We've got Scold on here as well. This can allow for burns to happen. Now, 30% chance to burn, relatively high, and if you can get that burn off, you basically can nullify a lot of physical Pokemon. You've then got Ice Beam to hit things like Grass types, which are annoying, and also hit super effective damage on Flying types and Dragon types. And yeah, I've already spoken about Toxic, but Toxic can cause sweepers to not set up as much as they would because they are on a timer, or if they do set up as much as they would have done, they're still on that timer, so they're probably not going to be able to do a full sweep of your team unless it's really late game. EVs have gone for max HP and max defense with a bold nature, so more defense, less attack, and 4 EVs in special attack. Now, moving on to the second Galarian Slowbro. This one is a Carmine user, and we've also got Slack Off to allow for the mitigation of the life orb damage and the hits that you're going to take in general. So on here as well, we've got Flamethrower, hits a variety of Pokemon, and I've put Expanding Force. Now, Expanding Force is really interesting. You probably would need another terrain setter, so things like NDD or Meowstic to set up the Psychic Terrain. And then you've got Expanding Force, so it has 1.5 times damage and hits all foes in the Psychic Terrain, which I thought was really interesting. If you don't want to run that, you could run something like Psyshock, which would go on the defense rather than the special attack. But the idea here is set up your Carmines as much as possible and then try and sweep. This could potentially work in the Trick Room, but I think the Bellybro version works much better in the Trick Room. Eevee's got max HP and max special attack with modest nature, so more special attack, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. And finally, we have a Dynomax Galarian Slowbro. So on here we have the choice specs. You don't have to run choice specs. You could run Life Orb, you could run Citrus Berry, you could run, I don't know, Ground Reducing Berry. I think it's Shucker Berry maybe. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. You could run Red Card. Lots of different things that you can run on this set, even Leftovers. I put Quick Draw as the ability. You could always do Regenerator, but realistically, if you're Dynamaxing and using that time to set up, you probably will want to stay in, so regenerating your health isn't the priority here. Moves on here, we have Shell Sidearm. Poison type attack will allow you to turn to max ooze, increasing up your special attack by 1 stat each time you do it, which obviously will make you much more powerful. We've got Hydro Pump, which can set up the rain, so if you have any Swift Swim users in your team, that could be beneficial for them. You've got Blizzard, which sets up the hail. Now, once you're out of Dynamax, the Blizzard will hit 100% of the time, assuming that the hail is still present. And I've also put Expanding Force. Now, Expanding Force works really well in Dynamax because when you Dynamax, you set up the Psychic Terrain anyway, so you are then going to go back to normal and have that 1.5 times damage because the Psychic Terrain is already present on the field. So that was my thought of having Expanding Force on here. It works really well in combination with the Dynamax. Eevee's gone for max HP and max special attack with a modest nature, so more special attack, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. Anyways, that is all for today. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.